Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What you're seeing here is some Mugen gameplay, or more specifically, Ikemen Go. It's basically a fighting game engine of which you can add or adjust anything to your personal liking. Ironically, Mugen was the first traditional fighting game I've ever played. I first truly got into it around 2 years ago when I was living with my dad. The circumstances that led me to finding out about it are irrelevant. Anyways, my time with Mugen was a memorable experience. I even ended up trying to get into other fighting games, but I didn't end up playing them for very long. However, I always seem to come back to this game every now and again. Even though I only ever played this game alone, I still had hours of fun just playing with the CPU. Now, the mode I'm most interested in is not solo, but it was actually simultaneous, where more than two fighters battle at once. Yeah, I know that almost everyone in the Mugen community seems to hate this mode with a passion, but granted, the mode does have its fans, and I'm one of them. Don't get me wrong, I do play solo mode whenever I want to brush up on my skills, but simultaneous is where I spend most of my time. Now, despite the absolute chaos on screen, there is actually a strategy to this. A strategy I've soon come to build with experience. After a while, it does become manageable, and you'll soon realize that you have a lot more influence on the outcome than you might think. Maybe if I have the time, I'll make a guide on how to play simultaneous mode to the fullest. One of the things I like about simultaneous mode is the obvious fact that you get to fight with a teammate. I have it so that if I die, it instantly results in a loss for my team. The reason for this is because I didn't want to rely on my teammates to carry me and encourage myself to get better so I would die less often. Starting out, I was bad at the game. Who would have guessed? Now I'm at least skilled enough that my partner usually dies before me, only for me to die immediately after, since I'm now fighting a 1v2. Call me crazy, but I think I actually like how I'm incentivized to care for my teammates and make sure they don't die. Especially since the characters I usually main are weak compared to the rest of the roster, and the AI can be infuriating to play against. I soon center my playstyle around making sure my partner doesn't take too much damage if I could help it, all the while trying not to die myself. A simple strategy, but the best defense is a good offense after all. Ironically, I eventually became decent at defending attacks after a while. I eventually upgraded to Ikemen Go, and then a lot more possibilities became available to me. For example, you can now have games with 8 fighters simultaneously, which is way too chaotic, even for me. I spent more time figuring out where I'm at on the screen and trying to survive than actually fighting. With 3v3, it's a little less terrible, but 2v2 just feels right for me. I also set up these raid boss battles whenever I want to be different. When I come across a character that's way stronger than they should be, I usually designate them as a boss character and gather 2 to 3 other characters to ruthlessly jump them. It's a lot harder than it sounds, as the boss character typically has attacks that could wipe out the whole squad. So it becomes more of a matter of keeping them in stun lock so they wouldn't have a chance to perform them. The point I'm trying to make here is that my time with Mugen serves as a fundamental stepping stone that led me to eventually try to start the True Human Tribulation series. Out of all the characters, I've only bothered to main 3 of them, all of which are basically normal humans who can't do anything too crazy. A common pattern I've noticed all across my life up to this point. Like countless before and after me, I had the unoriginal dream of becoming a game developer and making my dream game. Over the course of my life, that dream game rapidly changes as I experience new things. Examples include Berserk, Shin Megami Tensei, Kingdom Hearts, Grimdark My Little Pony fanfics, and much more. At the time of writing this, my idea of a dream game would be a hard but forgiving one. Combat that's simple to understand but has a lot of depth. A game where learning how to work together with your AI teammates along with good resource management is very essential to winning. A dark but hopeful story where there's multiple solutions to the same problem. The perfect true human tribulation game. And Skirmish certainly is not that game. Instead, it's something even better. It's something that's actually real, something that's more than a vague idea that lingers in my head. Ladies and gentlemen, I finally surpassed Yandere Dev as a game developer and actually finished a game. Now, we both know that's definitely not much of a high bar, but it's still a big achievement given how long I've been struggling. It feels great that I finally have something to show for it. I began development on the game on the 30th of April and finished on Christmas Day. That totals to around 7 months and 26 days of development time. Ironically, the same amount of time I spent on Errand Run before giving up. It's funny how I spent that much time on a game that would take 5 minutes to finish. Crazy how game development works like that. Although, given how hard this game is to playtesters, it would probably take an afternoon to complete it. Nevertheless, it has everything a game should have. Solid gameplay, music, sound effects, and art. It's certainly one of the games of all time. A game like any other. Except that's not really true, isn't it? No two games can be exactly the same unless intentional. Each one is given its own personal flair by the developer, hard-coded in its DNA. What I can say is that the game is built upon a solid foundation, and it's rather lightweight. It's very focused on what it's trying to do, and I'm confident to say that you will not run into any game-breaking bugs while playing. By the time you're watching this video, the game would have already been released on GameJolt and itch.io. I'm not going to do an overview of what I've changed because I want you to see for yourself. Links are in the description. After I finish editing this video and some stuff after that, I will take a well-deserved break. I've taken extra care on the game's page, description, and thumbnail, so hopefully it'll make the game stand out and I will get rewarded for my hard work. I sense that it will take a while until I begin work on True Human Tribulation 3, since I'll be entering college sometime in January or spring. Along the way, I'll be working on much smaller projects and tech demos to learn stuff. If you want to follow my future endeavors or wish to consume more media like this game, I have a Discord server you could join. Link is in the description. For now, I'll see you guys later.